Hello, my beautiful boys and girls out there. This is your boy Michael here, so you don't have to. We all love Johnny Depp in different movies. I love Johnny Depp, such an incredible actor to me. I watch all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. He does good roles in other movies. But for this occasion, today we're going to be revisiting a remake film that made Johnny Depp such an incredible star. Yep, you know what I'm talking about. We're revisiting Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Here we go. It's my third time watching this. I've seen this 2 times in a row.
I feel like I got my thoughts out when I did that video, but on its 20th anniversary. Yeah, remember when this actually was new? People have been asking me to give a full review of the Tim Burton remake. Who am I to argue with the will of the people? I mean, Wonka videos do surprisingly well on this channel. And at the same time, it might be interesting to give this another look. I do remember some updates to this story really working well, but I also remember everything else. But who knows, maybe my opinion will change. It's not like we're short, powerful, crazy rich people in the public eye, so maybe I'll have a different point of view on this Willy Wonka after all these years.
Are you hep to the job? Can you dig what I'm laying down? I knew that you could. Slide me some skin. So, brother?
Yeah, maybe I'm a Chinese jet pilot. Regardless, people want me to give the full review treatment, so that's what I'm gonna do today. So consider this, review, revisit-ish. Yeah, I've only done 2, and already there's a spin-off. But
Let's take a look at Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
First off, I should say, while I talked about the Elfman songs before, I actually do dig the intro music. I think I was closed off to it at first because it just sounded like Elfman imitating Elfman, which I was hearing a lot at the time. But returning back, it is kind of fun.
Oh, this is a very catchy tone right there. I freaking love it. And the way how they prepare the chocolate bars and hiding the golden tickets inside.
Introduces us to Charlie Bucket, played by Freddie Highmore.
He was not faster or stronger or more clever than other children.
He was kind of dumb, like thinking Cheerios were donut seeds, that sort of thing. So I will say most of the scenes before they go into the chocolate factory I actually do kind of get into. It's not just the look of it, though everything is wonderfully exaggerated. I mean, it looks like God literally farted on the Bucket's house. But the story really is told in its own way that sucks me in rather than have me constantly compare it to the original. Every actor plays the role different, but doesn't feel like it's done just to be different. They form personalities I'd like to watch even if I didn't see the original.
It's my candy bar, and I'll do what I want with it.
Well, most of them.
Most of them.
Alright, make no mistake, Highmore has become a very accomplished actor. Bates Motel he's had somebody stellar in, and Good Doctor,
I am a surgeon!
isn't his fault. But he can't bring much to this bland written version of Charlie. Thankfully, though, he doesn't have to worry much about that, as Grandpa Joe, played by David Kelly, tells many stories about the history of Wonka, played by Johnny Depp. Yeah, ironically, the movie called Willy Wonka is more about Charlie, and the movie called Charlie is more about Willy Wonka.
We're out of chocolate birds. We'll need to make some more. Now open.
This will be the first of many times I say please don't do that again.
Yeah, I do.
About the Indian prince. He'd like to hear about that.
So it gets a little unfocused here. I know, right? In a Burton movie, you're kidding. But I kind of like telling these stories not knowing if they're true or if they're building up the mythos of Wonka. As long as I don't show Wonka yet, keeping some mystery behind it, I think these scenes are kind of fun.
Yeah, they're very creative too.
Spies to steal his secret recipes.
He talks about how spies stole his recipe, so he had to close down the factory.
One day, the factory was back in business.
Did you get your job back?
No.
That sucks. It's announced that Willy Wonka has put 5 golden tickets in 5 Wonka bars, and the kids that find them will be given a tour of his factory, as well as something else.
In addition, one of these children shall receive a special prize beyond anything you could ever imagine.
Seeing how this Wonka is clearly inspired by Michael Jackson, I don't like the vibe that's giving off. The first is found by Augustus in Germany, who in the original is fat, but also rude. However, here, fat is enough to hate him.
How did you celebrate?
I eat more candy.
What a repulsive boy.
Why can't he weigh a pound like me? The next ticket is found by Veruca, or rather her rich father's workers find it for her.
As soon as my little Veruca told me she had to have one of these golden tickets, I started buying up all the Wonka bars I could lay my hands on.
Why do I want to play the end credits of Pearl over that?
I didn't think that was really fair. She didn't find the ticket herself.
Today more fair than you getting this part with that performance. The third ticket is found by Violet, who I like has more of an overachiever personality as opposed to just gum chewing. I always thought that was a weird reason for death. Now, to be fair, as actress is used to a fair amount of randomness in that category.
I'm the Junior World Champion Gunter.
Of course, I did have my share of trophies, mostly baton.
I also have to give credit that, like the original, the parents are played just as well as the kids, bringing a lot of personality that immediately tells the story of how their offspring got the way they did. Like the next winner, Mike TV, whose father clearly doesn't moderate what he watches or plays. In fact, his eyes are glued to screen so much, he actually figured out a pattern for how to find the next ticket.
Track the manufacturing dates, offset by weather, and the derivative of the Nikkei index. A retard figured out.
Well, that'll be a fun clip for an employer to find when he's looking for a job.
You ungrateful little butt.
Yeah, now plug his ears. The tar talk was totally fine, though.
Yeah.
Grandpa Joe gives Charlie some money to get a Wonka bar, but there's sadly no ticket inside, much to the tremendous heartbreak of Charlie.
Oh, don't worry, he will find it.
React! It doesn't get better when he hears the final ticket was found.
Did you see that some kid in Russia found the last golden ticket?
Yes, it was in the paper this morning.
Well, they're clearly gay, so it must be true. Yeah, some of these choices are very random.
See, he finds some money in the street, and he finds the real last golden Wonka
fake, but the one in his hand is very real.
You found Wonka's last golden ticket.
I definitely like dragging the fake out in the original more, as you feel real heartbreak, though granted, Charlie would actually have to feel something in order for that to work. What look did he even have here? Like, was that font quiet enough so nobody would notice?
Last golden ticket! It's mine!
He shows the ticket to Grandpa Joe, causing that faker to jump out of bed. And honestly, this is all so much faster than the original. It is kind of funny.
Yeah, it is so funny when Grandpa Joe gets out of bed like that.
Golden ticket from Mr. Willy Wonka.
I usually hate rushed remakes, but there's such an odd energy around all this that it does weirdly suck me into it a bit. I mean, is nobody going to react to Grandpa Joe standing after all these years? I'm just waiting for him to say,
We need the money more than we need the chocolate.
Charlie says he wants to sell the ticket, though, as they were offering hundreds at the store. A noble addition, and I like the most cynical of the relatives, is the one that says this is more important than money.
There's plenty of money out there, but this ticket, there's only 5 of them in the whole world. And that's all there's ever going to be.
Granted, we were saving up for Riddler to control those emotional outbursts you have. Please, Charlie, lower your voice! The next day, they make it to Wonka's factory, where we're sacrificed to this earworm.
Willy Wonka, the amazing chocolatier. Willy Wonka.
If any of those were
Yeah,
slappy, I
the
would
editing
find
on
Goosebumps
those
scary.
little toys, they're kind of creepy to me when I first see it. Especially when they go on fire.
Well, that does represent what Gene Wilder said this movie did to the original. Wonka appears and...
Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello.
Call it 3639 is when the movie got bad. Alright, to Depp's credit, I can't entirely blame him. This isn't the Wonka from the previous film or the book, it's something else. And
I always thought a verruca was a type of wart you got on the bottom of your foot.
boy, is it something else. So it's pretty clear they're depicting a kid who never grew up and has the same social awkwardness of a kid who never grew up. And at first, I didn't understand why, but the more I think about it, what would the life of an imaginative yet undeveloped man-child be like? Yeah, we mentioned that one. Hello,
Yeah,
someone
Michael
that knows.
Jackson, and Tim Burton, and him.
You know what I'm saying. There could be something here. And maybe if this Wonka was charming, funny, or even interesting, I could get into that. But
You're really weird.
I hate this man. You immediately know what this guy is all about. Even when they give the backstory about how his father, played by Christopher Lee, was a strict dentist, you don't need any more. You can put all the pieces together. That's usually a good thing to understand a character quickly, but they're acting like there's a lot to unpack with him, and it's honestly like watching that one fan at a convention who thinks because he dressed like a funny character, he's as witty as that funny character.
The best kind of prize is a surprise.
Can you please tell Billy he's not Blitzo?
Don't you want to know our names?
Can't imagine how it would matter.
If you give him the factory to one of them, I would think that would be a factor. Yeah, this is what I mean. If he was trying to figure out which of these kids should win in a very obvious comedic way, that would be funny and match his childlike persona, but he literally says he doesn't care.
Mr. Wonka, I'm Violet Beauregard.
I don't care.
Well, if you don't watch
Well, just like that.
he was closer to something like Jim Carrey's Grinch. It doesn't really matter if he makes sense or captures the spirit of the story, just as long as he's so big or weird that you can't help but laugh at how uncomfortable you are.
You're Mike TV. You're the little devil who cracked the system.
You are not leaving this place with your ball still attached.
Maybe he does.
Wonka takes him to the chocolate room of wonder and more awkward acting.
Try some of my grass.
You clearly already did.
Everything in this room is eatable. Even I'm eatable.
I'll pass. We're introduced to the Oompa Loompas, played by Deep Roy, who I've mentioned before. I like a lot in this role, but I'm sorry. If you asked me which one's an Oompa Loompa, it's always going to be the carrot balloons over here. Oh, also, for some reason, Wonka says what a lot.
Sure is toasty in here.
What?
It's beautiful.
What?
There's no such place.
What?
He doesn't understand a word. Does he have
What's the
earwax
joke?
in his ears?
I'll admit I never needed to see Oompa Land, but we're gonna do a remake, we might as well. However, come on, it's gotta be weirder than this. This just looks like Ewoks in Apocalypse Now, which just speaking that into existence sounds a lot more interesting. Give me a place where the unknown from the Wonka experience could live.
They are such wonderful workers.
Grandpa Joe seems pretty indifferent to his job being replaced by the snail guy from Neverending Story. His factory is scrumptious, but 401k is dumb diddly broke.
Oh yeah, Augustus falls into the chocolate river and he gets sucked up. I remember that scene. It was kind of funny because he was too chubby to fit in the tube.
Every song in the movie is taken from a different decade of music, which is a pretty
From
clever way to do its own
50s,
thing without being
60s,
compared too much
70s,
to the original.
80s, and 90s. Very classical choices, by the way.
Cogs begin to grind and pound.
Stop that.
Why would Augustus's name already be in the Oompa Loompa song? Unless they were...
Improvisation is a parlor trick. Anyone can do it. Chewing gum is really gross. Chewing gum I hate the most.
Like, look at inquisitive Charlie Bucket. All of his questions can kindly suck it.
Dang, those shots are absolutely kind of scary, but it's also very creative to look
I'm
at.
still quoting that poem. But fear not, there's still some disturbing imagery.
Whipped cream.
Precisely.
PETA called it torture, but the pun was worth it. He takes him to the inventing room where he shows him the everlasting gobstopper, which to the film's credit does actually look like a gobstopper.
You can suck on it all year, and it'll never get any smaller.
This part always confused me a bit.
That's too low even for me to pick. Viola steals a piece of chewing gum, but wouldn't you know it, it turns her into a Macy's Day Parade Smurfette float.
Yeah, she turns her into a blueberry. It's not ready to gum yet, by the
CG
way.
effects are better than practical effects, as it really looks like she's filling up with blueberry juice as opposed to just a blue light being shined on her face and being put in an inflatable sumo suit. Also, it's just as nightmarish as the original.
I've tried it on like 20 Oompa Loompas, and each one ended up as a blueberry.
But don't worry, 5 made it out okay, and I made use of what was left of the others. They roll her to the juicing room.
What are they going to do to her there?
They're gonna squeeze her.
All the juice out of her.
Ghost Rider. And they make their way to the next room where I get the only scene from Wonka that makes me laugh.
I myself am in the nut business. Are you using the Havermax for
That was pretty great.
Yeah, that was actually kind of
Squirrels are
cool.
used to crack open the nuts.
Oh yeah, the
Did this
squirrel
because he's
room.
afraid of
I
squirrels.
remember that part where
He was done to
Veruca
make
wants the
this dumb
squirrel for
joke.
herself,
Don't touch
but the
that squirrel's
squirrels
nuts.
attack
If
her.
you're gonna steal from the best. The squirrels fight back and toss Veruca down the garbage chute.
I've just been informed that the incinerator's broken, so there should be about 3 weeks of rotten garbage to break their fall.
Then when it stinks so bad it's unbearable, we release it and make millions.
Yuck.
They use the Wonkavator to see the rest of the factory, and these rooms raise so many questions, it is kind of hilarious.
This is the Puppet Hospital and Burn Center. I'd rather not talk about this one.
And they end up in the testing room.
Why can't I send a real barbed chocolate through the television all ready to be eaten?
And yes, this is one of the few things that is a lot better in the remake. Sending a candy bar through TV is a lot cooler than this exercise in money burning. With that said, I hope you like that one time in the original he told Mike TV to speak clearly.
How do you make them?
I'm a trifle deaf in this ear. Speak a little louder next time.
Because it is the only joke he uses on him the whole film.
You really shouldn't mumble. Because I can't understand a word you're saying. Once again, you really shouldn't mumble, because it's kind of starting to bum me out. Mumbler! Seriously. I cannot understand a single word you're saying.
Even Family Guy would be like, you might want to mix it up there. Naturally, Mike TV wants to travel via television and ends up getting shrunken down inside.
Let's go put him in the taffy puller. Taffy puller? Hey, that was my idea.
Your wordplay is Bugs Bunny if he was drunk and depressed. Charlie's the only one left, and he's told that he wins the factory. The other kids make it out alive, which, yes, is in the original book, but it is funny that dark and grim Tim Burton has the more child-friendly ending. However,
yeah, very dark. It's Tim Burton, by the way. What else can be different?
Solo. He has to follow his dreams. Gosh darn the consequences.
Like when everyone on set declared I was killing an icon and confusing the masses, but I just told them pudding packets. I don't know. I don't need to make sense. I just gotta be weird.
And I'm not going.
Charlie refuses his offer and Wonka goes home depressed, causing the quality of the chocolate to go down as well.
Pity about that chocolate fella. It says here in the papers his new
But he
candies
meets
aren't
him
selling
again.
very well.
He also has a funny haircut.
I do not.
That was him? Charlie says family is more important, and Wonka would know that if he reconciled with his father, who literally moved his entire office to the middle of nowhere. All right, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's pretty actually funny.
Do you have an appointment?
Okay, he must be really good. You need an appointment to see a dentist out here?
I haven't seen bicuspids like these since...
It looks like his father has been watching him for years, despite not recognizing him when he walked in. And they make amends pretty damn fast.
All these years, and you haven't flossed.
Not once.
For a guy who moved his business to a Looney Tunes short, I kind of assumed that would take more convincing. This warms Wonka's heart, and he finally decides to let Charlie move his household into the factory. Literally.
You smell like peanuts.
What the hell does she say?
I love peanuts.
Oh.
I thought he said something else, but the grandma loves peanuts, okay?
One thing was absolutely certain. Life had never been sweeter.
And that was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And yes, I know lots of people hate the remake, but I do actually enjoy the remake for Tim Burton. It's kind of fantasy, dark, musical, and very creative at the same time. Still, after these years, this movie is still one of my most top favorites. Johnny Depp is still one of my favorite actors from this day. Christopher Lee playing his father, not bad at all, because I've seen him in a lot of different films before. But he definitely takes the cake in this one. So, if you are fans of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, if you've seen the 1971 original film, watch the 2005 remake and let me know what you think. Because you'll definitely enjoy this with your family. Sit around together, get some popcorn, and highly recommend it. I'm your boy Michael here, so you don't have to.